I'm Eric Caine, and I got interested in the San Joaquin River National Wildlife Refuge in the mid to late 80s as a result of two things. One, the Natural Resources Defense Council filed a lawsuit to restore flows to the river and protect the river. And Stanislaus Audubon signed on as one of the original signers of the lawsuit, and I got interested in a couple of issues, one of which stunned me was the knowledge that the river dried up for a 60-mile stretch every year. And I thought that was very odd that the major tributary in the San Joaquin Valley would dry up. It turns out that historically, at times of extreme drought, it would dry up, but there were always sufficient flows in spring and summer for the salmon runs. And so I just found it very odd that it dried up, and found out it was due to too much diversion. The other interest came when I did a bird study on Chrisman Island. So there was some interest in establishing a national wildlife refuge, and people wanted me to do some bird study, so I camped on the island for 3 days. And there was a remnant of riparian forest and heron rookery there. So I camped sort of underneath the rookery, you know, off about maybe 100 yards. And the interesting thing, it was so noisy all night because the birds were feeding young, and it was tremendous squawking. But it was nice to be in that remnant of riparian and river habitat, kind of, you know, unchanged from the past. So I saw Lasley bunting and the egrets and the herons and lots of blue grosbeak and lots of birds that people have kind of forgotten about that used to be a part of the everyday landscape. So it became kind of a challenge to try to bring some of that back. And the river, of course, is what makes it happen. The river is wetlands and riparian forests. So that connection sort of made me realize that the river is to the valley as the sea is to the coast. And when I'd first moved here in the late 70s, I was a birder, and I always jumped in my car when I had time and went to the coast to go birding. And then the other thing you realize about rivers and wetlands is the ocean birds are inshore. And so when I began birding along the river, I saw gulls, I saw shorebirds. I thought, what am I going to the coast for? Because, you know, it's all here. So that birding became part of a connection to the river, because as I realized that I could see, I like to find rare birds, but I could see many of the very same rare shorebirds and gulls here that I saw on the coast. So, but access was a real problem. I mean, there's very little public access along the San Joaquin River. So that gave another impetus to establishing a refuge, so that I had gone to Merced Refuge when I first moved here, and San Luis Refuge. But we have our own special attractions here, and with some public access to the river, you know, more people would be able to see those.